Hi, Eamon here again from Psychonosis News. I find it difficult to give any other open announcement, but thank you to all you adventurers who are still with us and those who are future episodes of this is watching it in the coming months and coming years. I hope you've enjoyed things so far and you've picked up the information, that you've followed the requirements. I keep saying that throughout the whole journey because at the end of the day, what we're going to discover today is we're going to discuss a little bit more about our story and how it develops, how it's made up in our mind and starts off, and how it ends up being our belief. We are not our story. That's basically what I'm saying. We are taught in the modern day world that we began our existence in our womb, in the mother's womb, and we came into this world, into a physical body, and we developed, our brain developed, and our body developed alongside the skin and the bones and all the other things that structured around it. And we developed speech and language, and we discussed our beliefs that brought us up. We were in different interpretations of these beliefs, of these vibrations were given as about life. And we were given this information. And our body and our mind used our subconscious and our conscious minds. I'm giving you a brief guideline about how the world believes it to be, and most of that is perhaps true. As far as our life here on earth is concerned, we've developed a lot of information, and we live according to the information that we believe to be true. We have a little bit of choice, but most of us are totally brainwashed. We continue that brainwashing even when we become aware that we are brainwashed, which is very strange to say. What Psychonosis declares that once you fully understand you're brainwashed, you'll realise how brainwashed you really are. Because our story is the main part of this brainwashing. We can eliminate all sorts of things by saying, well, we're not our emotional information, and at the same time hold on to our story. This is the enigma we discussed in our last, on day 20. The enigma being, we can believe two things that are actually alternate. And actually clash. We've got to really look at our situation and say to ourselves, how does this develop? We have our conscious mind, which is basically what communicates. Our subconscious is where we gather our information. We remember people's faces. We've been went to school with people. We know our mothers and our fathers, and we know our friends, and this is all held in our subconscious. And our conscious mind goes into that, takes out information, and goes through it. But it's not who we are. It doesn't make sense. So what happens is, we can believe that. But somehow or another, we take our story that's made up of all this information and hold on to it. And that's what we've got to get beyond, because that's the ultimate in brainwashing, to believe you are your story. And that's the biggest hurdle in psychonosis and gaining peace, and ultimately the miracle that we've discussed throughout this whole adventure. We want to have a miracle, but we have to realise that our story has to be questioned. It doesn't mean to say we get rid of it. We can hold on to it. We've got our traditions and our hobbies and our friends, and we have our own interests. We like to read books. It might be horror books, it might be adventure books, it might be discovery books. It doesn't really matter. All those things are part of your story, which is fantastic. It makes life interesting. But what we have to realise is that within that belief system, there are things that are holding us back from creating a miracle. We have to have an understanding that our real intelligence, the thing behind the being or the entity behind us, behind all that, behind the illusion that we believe we are, that we've been taught who we are, and it ceases to exist when we die, and it continues. So does that mean that whatever continues really had to have a beginning, and i.e. existing somewhere else before it came here, what we call in psychonosis the unseen? This was what you need to question. What we've got to do is look in the mirror and question, as we said in, can't remember what day in the adventure, where we said that you must question your illusion. That means you've got to talk to yourself. Talking to yourself is absolutely important. It's imperative if you have to get away from who you think you are. Because the only person that really understands a little bit about who you are is the illusion that you're looking in the mirror. You can have an honest chat with them without kidding themselves on, without pretending you're someone else or someone else influencing you, i.e. a psychiatrist, your social worker or your friend or your mother or whoever it might be, who influence us whenever we try and discuss who we are. The only person that can free you is yourself. Someone said to me, "Oh, you'll never change me." And I said, "You're absolutely right. The only person that can change you is you." And that's what's important. The great thing about it is when you do that, you become free almost instantaneously. Not to say that we still don't have some, what we call bad behaviours, where we get angry at times and we get upset or we're shy. It's not to say that instantaneously you'll overcome those overnight. But what we have to understand is that when we realise that we're not our emotional information, we're not our story either. We're not our story. You don't take it so seriously. We have it thrust upon us. Most of what we are has been thrust upon us. Our language, what we inherited from our parents, the information we got at school, things we were taught in history, the things that we were taught in our everyday life and our job and our work. All these things are not who you are. They're only what you're doing here in communicating with the rest of mankind that's around you. So we really need to question that. And I'm going to say this to you. When we come out with the article, I want you to read it as much as you possibly can. Maybe 2 or 3 times. I haven't written it yet, so I really don't know the words that's going to be in it. But I believe it's going to be ultimately important. It has to be the tipping point where you get beyond your story. Very important. Thanks for watching. Appreciate that you're not your thoughts. Also appreciate that those thoughts that make up your story are also not who you are. Don't hold on to it. Don't ruin the rest of your life by believing you are your story. It doesn't give you happiness. And that's what it's all about. Let's make it happen. Let's get the miracle to happen. The miracle will happen. I believe that there are miracles happening at this moment for those people who have followed the requirements. They're certainly happening in my life. Discussed them yesterday. Anyway, I'm going to finish there. Look forward to the article tonight or tomorrow, whenever it comes out. Let's look at it. Let's read it intently. Maybe go over some more videos this weekend, Easter weekend. Make it the time when you've got a resurrection. You died today. Maybe we talk about that in our next video, actually. Maybe we'll talk about dying. I think that's a good topic to talk about. Thanks very much for watching. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Psychognosis News for life-changing information. Unbelievable, but incredibly true. Thank you.